thought I was going to fly out of the country. I had enough battery to last me beyond a trip to Koseel, but I wasn't going to leave without Scilla. The entire city must have spotted me flying overhead. I did so thinking that I would never see it again, but I landed just beyond the outskirts. After spending a few minutes digging through the gadgets that Scilla had made, I found what looked like rechargeable batteries. I ripped off the adhesive backing and hopped to the outside of the plane, sticking them in 4 different spots. I pressed the button on the charger, then watched as the wings of the plane seemed to disappear. Every few seconds or so they seemed to shimmer, but no one would have noticed unless they were paying attention. Scilla, you're a genius! Now I felt better about the plane being out in the open, since it was at least out of sight. In Scylla's bag of gadgets, I found the tracking device. I had planted the chip in her purse when she first showed it to me. I powered on the cell phone and it turns on like a regular phone would, but it displayed a small map showing Quartz Square and the names of all the streets. Right in the middle, there was a blinking red dot where Scylla's purse was. I was tempted to call her, but she was too busy dancing. It was only 9:30, the ballet wasn't finished for another hour or so. I could have been dressed in my best suit, sitting among rich men, watching Scilla dance. I was going to call her. I was going to call her when the show was over, and then we could fly to the Polar Highway and make our way to Koseel. I was already having second thoughts. I didn't even know where my family was, or if the police would find me before I got the chance to call her. And then, as if from divine intervention... Tack? Where have you been? Are you with everyone else? Is Relica with you?
These guys!
Hello, pilot.
You! What are you doing with Tack?
We want to see you in Quartz Square. You have 12 minutes to get here. Or you can see your little cousin's fried brains smoking on the pavement. The clock's ticking.
You bastard. I didn't know if I could run that fast, but I took off before I could think any further. My feet barely touched the ground before I kicked away and sped forward. I wondered if it was a good idea that I'd left all the gadgets in the plane, but it was too late to turn back. Every second mattered. I could have taken the plane, but I wouldn't be able to fly between the buildings, and probably would have ended up crashing the plane in the square and killing myself. I had no bike, just my own strength and will. I felt a shock run through my legs when I stepped onto pavement. It made running easier, but the city buildings confused me in the streetlights. My pounding chest didn't help my coherence, but I ran in whichever direction felt right, then eventually found the street corners I recognized. I had 5 minutes left and about 10 more blocks to run. As I turned corners, I pushed myself off the sides of buildings, having no time to slow down with every corner. A little longer, I heard the distant sound of the ballet. 3 more blocks and I was there. The place was much emptier than usual, yet I couldn't spot them. I ran to the central fountain, hoping that I could catch my breath, but halfway there, I felt a sudden prickling pain in my leg and tumbled hard into the pavement. Suddenly, dizzy and breathing heavily, I looked up, and there they were. Keng had Tack right in his grasp, holding the electric gun to his neck. Romeïn stepped forward, twirling his own gun playfully.
You had just a minute to spare.
I had fallen on my arm. It felt numb. I pushed myself to my knees. What do you want?
You. Just you, little pilot.
My name is Edillan. I'm here now. Let him go.
Romeïn?
Let him go.
Eddie, what are you?
You alright?
I'm okay. You're not going to...
Do you know where everyone else is?
Yes.
Here, take my cell phone. Find them. Just get out of here. Don't worry about me for now, okay?
But, Eddie...
Go! What now?
You pay. So, Edillan, I take it you haven't forgotten what brought you in this situation.
So I built a plane. So I flew. But I didn't steal anything!
Bull!
Stop it!
I'll beat it into you right now, Edillan. So you know and will never forget what you did wrong. Filthy garbage eaters like you don't take anyone's money, especially not from my family! and you used it to build a plane. I'll see to it that you never fly again.
Stop! I can...
What? Pay us back for the money you borrowed? I don't think so.
I could already feel the shock of the gun. I winced as I watched Romeïn pull the trigger. But nothing came out. We looked sharply into each other's eyes, and my gaze only softened as I prepared myself to run. Before Romeïn could grasp me, I was gone.
Keng! Give me your gun!
I felt my way along the theater's wall, fighting through the pain. Just outside the backstage entrance, I waited as long as I dared for one of the security guards to take his attention away. They both stepped inside, and I ran in after them into the opposite hall, dodging their sight and ducking around the backstage crew. They didn't notice until Romeïn and Keng came storming through.
You're not supposed to be back here.
Get out of my way!
Stop! Move it! What are you doing?
Stop that boy!
Gotcha!
Keng pulled me back by the collar. His knuckles very nearly met my nose, but...
Do you have any idea what you just walked into?
I slipped by and ran in the other direction, toward the stage. I stopped just as I was about to run into the final battle of the ballet. The nymphs were dancing around, confusing the soldiers. If only I had my own nymphs to confuse the others. Romeïn was advancing on me. He had the gun ready, and I just watched, wondering if he dared fire when the dancers could get hurt. I couldn't run into the show, but there was no other way to escape. I was trapped.
I've got you now!
I ducked just in time, but also stepped beyond the stage wings.
Stop them already!
It took them just a few moments to suddenly drop the curtain to block our fight from view. You've ruined the show, you know.
Everyone else should find that you've ruined the show by running on stage.
I couldn't fight him anymore. He and Keng dragged me to the curtain and shoved me onto the stage apron.
Romeïn!
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you a traitor. This boy has done something that most of us would have thought to be unspeakable. He has built a plane, and he's flown it. I now put him on display for you. He will spend the rest of his days in prison remembering the wrongs he has committed.
What are you doing, Romeïn? Oh, Eddie!
My dear sister, whom this scoundrel threatened so he could take our family's money.
Are you okay? Keng! Let me go!
Scilla, he said that I stole money from you, but
Romeïn had shoved the gun into Edillan's gut, twisting it and pulling the trigger. I could only watch in horror until Edillan collapsed. Eddie! 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 Oh, are you alright? Come on, Eddie!
Scilla!
Let go of me, Keng! Let go!
Tisk tisk, poor boy. Not even worthy of feeling a lady's gentle touch.
What's going on?
I take it you're here to arrest the boy.
I'm not sure who to arrest.
No! It's not his fault! Leave him alone!
Poor Scilla. He's brainwashed you, hasn't he?
Shut up, Romeïn! No, he hasn't! He's innocent!
There's no way of proving the innocence of anyone who's built a plane.
The plane? The plane? It was my idea in the first place.
Nonsense, Scilla. You're a civilized girl. Why would you harbor such thoughts?
So he's the one we should arrest after all.
Yes, take the pilot away. And don't mind treating him roughly.
I couldn't do anything but watch as the guards took hold of Edillan and carried him off stage. I could feel all the stares from the audience as they watched justice brought upon a traitor. I could feel the guilt that he would have to live with tearing me up inside. And worst of all, there was nothing I could do about it. The show was over, and the leading lady was the last on stage.